Welcome to the House of Bloom. Once again, I am your host, Clayton Bloom. Now we got something a little bit different. Went ahead and did an engine bay cover not too long ago. In case you didn't know, here it is right here. I had a Honda sticker I bought off Etsy, put it down, then I did a resident coat over top of it. Well, that over the years, or not even over the years, over the months, the microscopic bubbles actually expanded in the heat and cracked, and this was just completely just like crumbled up and popped up. It looked ugly and bad. So now I've sanded it completely down back to the black coat. You can still see a little bit of where the sticker was. And over the next couple weeks, maybe even months, I'm going to prep this into a new way. It'll only seem like seconds for you guys, but I'm actually going to take my time and do this, try to do it right. So what I have here are my 3 paints. I'm going to be trying to do this actually as paint, not just a stick-on sticker that I'm trying to keep. If you're going to follow along, do make sure that you get actual engine paint. You want something with a very high temperature resistance, because while it is going onto a piece of plastic and not an actual piece of metal, a lot of heat does build up underneath that hood and can actually cause you problems. So first off, we're going to start off with the white. Make sure it's shaken. And I'm going to be putting it down. And we'll start off with the white first. And my plan is to actually put a coat down, let that fully dry, do another coat, let that fully dry, then we'll move on to other colors. I haven't figured out or made my choice if I'm going to let this sit for an actual full week or a full month, but that's what I plan on letting the first base coat sit for a very long time is my plan. Now right before you get ready to paint, do make sure you go over one more time of doing a nice good clean. You want to make sure there are no oils, no leftover paint or dust or debris from when you were sanding. After you know that it is as clean as possible, that is when it's time to start to paint. Make sure that you always shake your can very well. That can cause you problems in the long run if it is not shaken very well. This is the first coat. As you can see, I'm already starting to get some bubbling, some marks where there might have been still some debris, but that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and let this fully dry. Do a very mild sanding to it, something more like a 400 grit. Do another coat. By all means, I'm probably planning on doing like 3-4 coats of this white before I move on. Okay, roughly back after 1 week. This was a pain in the butt. I tried my hardest to get it to actually stick and not actually lift, and something about the plastic, it does not want to adhere that well to it. I literally had to mist it, let it dry, mist it again. It was like 5 individual real thin coats before I had a decent coat that I could start to put it on thicker, wet sand it, put it down another coat, wet sand it again to get it nice and smooth like this. Next step is going to hit it with a clear, just to make sure that this white stays nice and pristine for steps into the steps we will have to take in the future. Now here we are, about 2 weeks in. Multiple wet sanding and clear coats over this. We should be just about ready to do our decal. So first we're going to have to figure out exactly where we want it. Be something along right about there. We'll put it on, let it stick on a little bit. Then the next step will be our black paint. I just went ahead and got it on. Take your time and make sure it's pressed down pretty well. Then you're just going to peel this applying tape off, and that should leave the decal there, and then we'll get ready for the paint. And there we go. It's now applied. And just take your time. Work at it very slowly. I normally try to have a squeegee and just try to follow behind. Letters start to lift, just push it back down. Stop pulling on the adhesion tape and keep moving forward. It's no big deal if you have minor bubbles towards the center. You just don't want any bubbles near the end of the letters where paint could get underneath it. And here we go. We got the paint down now. We'll let that fully dry. We'll have to do a little bit of wet sanding. Another coat or two. Because it does already look like it's separating a little bit. And I don't know why, because it's all paint on paint. But I should be able to get that looking decent. So guys, I'm calling it here. I don't know what happened to the paint, but this is probably about the 5th or 6th time that I have wet sanded it down and then try to hit with a clear. Something was going on that it looked good when I put it down, looked good a day after, but a little bit after a day, it would just start to crackle up. This is the best I've gotten it, so I'm just gonna call it here. We'll uncover the rest and see what the whole thing looks like unmasked. There we go, the final project. You need to just do a little wiping and dusting off. But yeah, it's much better. If you ever do buy this cover, I do recommend getting the letters on somehow. It just looks too plain. Just having the Honda on it just wraps it all together, and while it is still unofficial, it does make it look a little bit more authentic and official. That's it for now. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. Give a share. And I will see you next time. But for now, enjoy.